welcome to Heroine Chic, where we help you unlock your shiro. I'm your co-host, Cher Castillo, with my co-host,
Janice.
I'm Smart Evelyn. Hi, guys.
And always, you can find us on all social platforms at Heroine Chic. Today, we have a very special guest. We're talking about Fit Over 40, and none other than my fabulous trainer, Diane Brown, with Body in Motion. Diane,
Hi.
we're happy to have you here today.
I'm happy to be here with you guys today.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and where people can find you and what you do and why you're the most fabulous trainer on the earth.
Hi, everyone. So I am co-owner of Body in Motion Fitness. I own it with my husband, Willie Brown. So both of us are certified personal trainer and certified sport nutritionists, and we are also certified fitness judges as well too. I have been training individual for the past 20 plus years. So that makes me a little bit over 40.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. But honestly, training individual is my passion. I actually quit my corporate job, good paying corporate job, to train, people to get healthy and fit.
So you were training on your own. Were you competing and then you just decided to train others?
Well, this for me, the whole fitness thing got started when I was in high school. So I ran track in high school, and as part of running track in high school, you also have to go to the weight training room. So I started lifting weights when I was in high school. And so it just happened that I had more muscles than the guys back then. So my love for just working out started in high school, and then after high school, during college, I used to go to the gym every now and then, and well, actually not someone, plenty of people in the gym was requesting that I compete as a bodybuilder. So I was like, okay, I don't like talking in front of people. Here I am today. And I just couldn't see myself doing it. So it was basically a fear of something and overcoming a fear, why I decided that I wanted to do my first bodybuilding competition. So I competed in 4 weeks. So for 4 weeks, I trained, and got ready for my first competition. And after 4 weeks, I competed, won my class, and just fell in love with the sport itself. So by competing in bodybuilding, before, like I said, in high school, I was lifting, but getting involved with bodybuilding, I was able to combine lifting with nutrition, and that's how it all got started.
So, because I've been learning about the different types of bodybuilding competitions
Mhm.
lately, what type of competition was the first one you did?
So when I first started, it was female bodybuilding, and
Okay.
then over the years, they introduced women's physique, which is more like a softer side of bodybuilding. The hand poses are a little bit different. They wanted the females to look more feminine. So for me, yes, I like to have muscles, but I also want to make sure that I look feminine with the muscles. So it was an easy transition for me or decision, I should say, to transition to women's physique. And I competed in women's physique, and not necessarily a goal of mine to go to the Olympia. It was more so when I was competing, I wanted to make sure that every time I got on stage that my physique progressed and looked like this award that I got, the statue lady. So that was my goal, to look like her. But in that pursuit of looking like her, I was able to go to the Olympia twice,
Wow.
as a natural bodybuilder. So I don't take any enhancement drugs to make my physique look different. So that was a big accomplishment. And I also was able to win the Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger show. So I was his first female amateur bodybuilder winner.
Wow.
Amazing.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
awesome.
Do you feel
Awesome.
like in order to compete at that level and like let's say win the Olympia, most people are taking performance enhancing stuff?
Um, a lot of people are taking it, but for me, I feel like, just like how I feel about nutrition, I don't put things in my body that I know is going to have some sort of side effects. So being natural was extremely important to me. I wanted to, when I finished competing, still be healthy. And so you can, as a bodybuilder, start taking enhancement drugs and then have all these side effects. And so you kind of lose the whole purpose of being a bodybuilder. And that is, it's about health. So this is my decision. I don't judge individuals who decide to take that route. But for me, it was all about health.
So what kind of supplements, my son actually asks me this question of like, what does it mean to be a natural bodybuilder? Because I mean, steroids are not legal, right? So we're not talking steroids, but we're talking other performance enhancing things.
So natural means that you're not taking any banned substances, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
steroids is
Okay.
it's not legal, so you're not supposed to take it.
But they
Right.
do
S-
anyway.
huh?
But they do
But they do,
anyway.
well,
Yeah.
okay, they do anyway. But the thing about it is, there's some organizations that, before you compete, you're going to be doing a polygraph testing to make sure you're not taking any substances. And when you win your show, they also do a urinalysis to make sure that there's nothing in your system as well, too. So when I started out doing bodybuilding, I was in a natural organization for probably about 10 years before I transitioned to the organization in which they do not test individuals. And I actually
So passive.
transitioned
Okay.
as a dare, right? So a friend of mine, he was like, okay, if I do the show, you do this non-tested show with me. And so I was like, okay, fine. He did the show that I wanted him to do. And so I ended up competing at a non-tested show. And both of us who are natural bodybuilders ended up winning the overall of the show.
Wow.
Wow.
And so after that, it was kind of like, what is it, 4 weeks to nationals? So there's different levels to become a professional bodybuilder. So 4 weeks later, I competed at nationals. I went down there and there was 1,500 competitors. I was like, why am I here? I was scared. So I was just like, okay. My husband at the time, he was just like, just do what you do as always. So I went ahead, competed, and won my clients and won my pro card. So I became a
Wow.
professional bodybuilder. So then it was like, okay, well, you're a professional bodybuilder now. You should compete. And I was like, okay, really? So about 6 months later, I competed my first pro show. So that's at the professional level.
Okay.
And won the show and went straight to the Olympia.
Wow.
Wow.
So
And is that when you started training as well? Or
like I said, I started training in high school, continued
no,
after
training others?
training
Yeah.
other individuals. Yeah, after my first competition, when I was able to combine weight training with nutrition and understand how to change my own physique, then I was able to start assisting other individuals in changing their physique as
How
well
did you
too.
learn about the food part of it?
A friend of mine taught me.
Okay. Like somebody
And
else in the gym?
somebody else in the gym, yeah, taught me about the food. But then again, I also had to become certified. So as part of your certification, you are required to do, understand nutrition and how it affects your body as
But do
well.
you think somebody like, because let's face it, right? You have genetically blessed people. Like you were running track, you naturally you're in the gym and you're saying, man, I'm like gaining more muscle. I'm,
Mhm.
being more cut than these guys in here. Uh, do you think that somebody who isn't genetically blessed could have the same results as you just with, the diet and nutrition?
Yes. The thing about bodybuilding, the thing about being healthy is about your mindset. If you have the right mindset, then yes, you can change your physique how you see fit. The mind guides your body, and so your body's going to do what your mind tells it to do. If you don't believe that you can change your physique, then you're not going to apply the work to change your physique. So, yeah, I mean, as long as you believe, and that's anything in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So we were talking about what you can take when you're a natural bodybuilder versus when they're not testing. What kind of stuff do you take, like supplements and stuff, just now to
So
maintain?
I stick with the basics. Anything that will help to boost your immune system. Vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin D. If you're trying to, lose weight, maybe L-carnitine, green tea, just stick with the regular stuff. So those are the type of things that I take. If I can't buy it in GNC or Vitamin Shop, I don't want it.
What about like BCAAs, branched
Yes,
chain amino
yes,
acids?
you can
Okay.
take BCAAs as well, branched chain amino acid. That helps with muscle retention.
Okay. What about creatine? You have feelings about creatine?
I So it's okay to take creatine, but it's not good for everyone. For me, creatine causes me to retain water. So that's the side effect of taking it. So I don't like taking it, but for some people, it's fine.
Okay. For bulking, right?
hmm
Okay.
So we're talking about fit over 40, Diane, and you're just slightly over 40, right? So, what are some tips you can give the audience in terms of, especially someone who's new to the fitness game? Like where can they start in their journey of fit over 40?
Okay, so as I mentioned this before, it's just staying fit in general. For anyone who's just starting out, you have to have the proper mindset. If you don't have the proper mindset or a strong reason as to why you are doing it, then you're going to start and you're not going to finish.
And
So,
what does that look and feel like? Like you wake up in the mirror, you look at yourself, what are you telling yourself in the mirror?
well, for some people, okay, so it's mindset meaning that you have a reason, something that's going to hold you.
What's a
To
good reason?
A good reason is I want to live, I want to be healthy so I can be around for my kids.
Mm.
I want to be healthy so that I don't have to take pills for depression. So, and I'm gonna say this. So, for me, at 18, I was diagnosed with depression. So, my reason for working out is to not get on pills. Working out releases endorphins, and for me, that just makes me feel better. It helps me think better. If I'm feeling a certain way, if I'm down or whatever, going into the gym and working out, when I'm done, I forgot why I was down to, you know what I mean? Why I wasn't feeling upbeat to begin with. So that is my reason. And it just so happened that that reason allows me to also change my physique or maintain my physique.
It's like finding your big why.
Yeah, it's your big why. You have to have. If you don't have a why, then you're not going to stick with it.
Can't be like Diane punishing you if you don't go.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And that why, Janice, that why is gonna make you get up in the morning, right?
Right.
And Janice is part of the boot camp class that I do in the morning at 5 a.m. It's not for everyone, right? You really have to be serious about
It's not
Oh,
for
it
your
is.
sure. It's not for
yeah, and you
sure.
really have to be serious about your fitness in order for you to
I'm
get up at
serious
5
after 9
a.m.
o'clock.
But the thing about it is, it's you find whatever works for you. So for someone who's like, share ask is just, trying to figure it out, your mindset is one thing, is the first thing I should say. Then you want to figure out what is healthy and not healthy in terms of your nutrition. Because I'm sorry, but the things that they're doing to the foods today is just it's crazy, right? You can go into the store and something is labeled as whole wheat or whole grain or and then you pick it up, but if you look on the back of the ingredients, it says something else, right? Something an item is only whole grain if the first ingredient is wheat in it. If it doesn't start with that, then it's not, right? But if you have traces of it as a marketing thing, you can advertise it as whole grain or whole wheat or stuff like that. So understand what is healthy, what is not healthy. Then once you get that understanding, then you need to go to the gym and start working out or figure out what time works best for you in terms of you working out. And you want to make sure that you're doing weight training coupled with cardio. Weight training, build muscles, and cardio helps you to reduce body fat. So you want to pair those two. And you probably want to work out probably anywhere from 4 to 5 days per week. You can work on, if you're just starting out, everything is in progression. So don't go to the gym and say, I'm going to do an hour of cardio. You're not going to like it.
Not gonna
It's,
stay with it.
you're not going to
Yeah.
stay with it. And it's going to make you feel horrible. So start out with probably about 10, 15 minutes. And then each week you want to gradually add minutes to it. Your body really don't, if you're trying to lose weight, your body really don't start burning fat, using fat for energy until after 20 minutes. So you want to get to past that 20 minutes a little bit, right? But nothing past an hour. Past an hour, you're doing too much.
What do you think of the workouts that don't employ like cardio, like, just running on a treadmill or
Circuit
something like
training.
that? Yeah, like HIIT workouts, circuit training kind
Yeah,
of stuff,
I
like
mean,
weights, but not cardio.
there's different types of workout programs. HIIT is very good. You get to burn a lot more within a short period of time, right? It all depends on what your fitness goal is.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, HIIT is great. And if you're doing cardio, you probably want to mix it up, 2 days steady state and maybe like 3 days HIIT, right? So you want to mix it
Okay.
up a little bit.
So let's say I am watching this show now and I see Diane talking about getting fit, and I've made up my mind, I've decided what my why is, but I'm like very obese. Like very obese, but I've decided like I really want to, move past this. What would I need to do next?
Okay, so we got the food too, right? An
Hmm?
understanding of the food, right? So we got that.
Yeah, I understand that, yes, the things I've been, eating packaged foods and eating too many calories, and that's what's made me severely overweight.
Okay.
But like,
Where do you
it's hard for me to even, do anything with the weight on my knees, or, like, how do you start your journey to get fit if you are like severely overweight?
So what you want to do is to think about how can I start moving with less pain, right? So if someone has bad knees, then there's chair cardio. Believe it or not, it works. I have done it. I've done it with a client.
I've
She
seen you
had,
do it
yeah,
in class. Yeah.
right,
Chair
right. When I
cardio?
injured, yeah, chair cardio. When I injured my knee, I wasn't able to run around and teach a class, so I had to sit down. So those movement, as long as you're moving, you're good. But you got to move, and you got to move for a certain period of time. So there's plenty of videos on YouTube with chair cardio, and it does work, and it is intense. As long as you're moving your body to burn calories, you should be fine.
Okay.
And if let's just say your knees are not so bad, then start walking, right? And then increase the distance that you're going over time. And then maybe once you get comfortable with that, then you can start maybe like doing, walk for 5 minutes and, just slow jog for probably 30 seconds. And then eventually you change that 30 seconds to a minute and change the 5 minutes from walking to 4. So you just, progression, slow progression. Do not try to do too much too soon.
Okay.
As your body's going to scream at you and you're going to be like, I can't do this because it just don't feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So, are there certain things that you recommend as you approach 40 or you're over 40 in terms of working out that are vital to the success of your fitness evolution versus working out at 20 or 30? Are there different things, or is it a different mindset in terms of working out?
I really don't do that for me personally as a trainer, because once you start limiting yourself in your mind and you do that in your workout, then it's kind of like, okay, I don't, yeah, I had this lady, she came to me, she was 68 years old, and I treated her like she was 20, right? And now she has her own organization. She's now 72. This will be the second time she's doing a triathlon. And one
Wow.
of the things that she said to me was that I appreciate the fact that when you started training me, or when you trained me, that you didn't make me feel old,
Hmm.
right? So
Mm.
I don't like to limit, if you're capable of doing something, I'm going to push you to do it. So it's not necessarily about just being 40, you know what I mean? Being 40. I consider myself to be in my 20s, right? But that's just
Yeah.
me, right? But yeah, no, I don't like to limit people like that. If you have the capability to do something, then I'm going to push you to do it. Now, if you have limitations, then yeah.
But I guess what I'm more asking is,
What are the
in your,
differences?
yeah, like if you're in your 20s, you may do a ton of cardio and not have to do maybe as much weightlifting. But I know there's been some studies that say as you age, it's actually better to weight train than to do cardio. So I'm more talking to like
Okay,
that
okay.
sort
And
of
that,
thing.
so the differences in your 40s, we're talking about reduce bone density,
Hmm.
right? And so you want to make sure that you're weight training to to build and maintain your muscle mass, and also to improve your bone density, because that reduces as you age. You want to make sure that you are doing cardio, because the older we get, the more we're at risk for certain, health issues.
Hmm.
And so cardio helps to, you know, prevent that from happening, in a sense, right?
Hmm.
So those are the two things. And then you have what's called menopause for females. And, working out, eating healthy, what does to a certain extent help that. It may not, erase all of the symptoms of it,
Right.
but the more the healthier you're eating, the better it is for you. So
Well,
those are the things.
do you believe in, because for example, I know, and Sherkin, we all went to school together. So I remember you could like shut your mouth like for a couple of days. Let's say you had somewhere to go and you wanted to lose weight, and you could
Oh, the
like,
fad. Oh, I'm the
yeah,
queen of fad
like
diets.
not
Yeah. Or
eat
I
for like,
was. I was.
right, 5 days and lose like 10 pounds.
Mhm.
And you certainly can't do that now.
Because your metabolism slows down a little bit, right? So you
Hmm.
want to make sure that you continue to work out to keep that going. So yeah.
So your metabolism does slow down once you get a little older. And one of the things that I like that you do, and I think is important too, as you get older, is stretching, like having flexibility and
Flexibility is
mobility. I've been seeing this thing that's huge now, like mobility training, where they're doing like
Or
different
stretch
yeah,
movements.
labs.
Yeah,
yeah.
where they're
Yeah.
doing different movements to maintain that suppleness. As you get old, you'll see people kind of like they
Yeah,
can't,
yeah, yeah. That's you're right about that. So flexibility is extremely important. Is because the older you get, you just not as you just lose that over time. So you want to make sure that you're stretching daily, actually, to a certain extent. So yeah, stretching and your flexibility is extremely important.
Is there a certain amount of time that we should be taking to
I think
stretch, or
about 10 to 15 minutes should be
before and
good.
after, or just before is okay?
When you say before and after,
Like before
Workout.
your workout?
before you work out, yes,
Yeah.
because you want to make sure that your muscles are loosened before you work out, so that you don't put yourself at risk, because for injury, because your muscle, when you especially when you weight train, your muscles tightens up, and so stretching loosens that up. So you definitely want to do that before you work out. After, yeah, probably about 5 minutes, not as much. But for me, in the morning especially, is when I stretch.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest things I've learned from you, because I am queen of fad diets, and I have stopped since we started working out together, is just the whole nutritional element of things. And I think generally I've always been a pretty healthy person, but never really understanding like the importance of a certain amount of protein, a certain amount of fat, a certain amount,
What
and
is that
just
called?
your
Macros?
macros.
Macros.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And just how important that is to your overall success when you are working out, because I started training with you right before my wedding and it was 12 weeks. And I'm like, I mean, is this really going to make a difference? And then you had me eating so much food because I didn't eat that much food ever in life before. And I'm like, I'm going to get fat before this wedding. She's giving me 1,600 plus calories. Like, what's happening here? But, after 2 weeks, I saw my body transforming and eating so much food, a lot of clean food,
Right.
but just can you touch on macros and how important that is to your overall success?
So there, for each individual, there is a certain amount of calories that you need to intake for your body to look a certain way. If you are eating more than what your body requires, then you're going to put on weight, right? If you're trying to come down, then you want to go into a deficit and eat a little bit less. The portion, the makeup of those macros, your carbs, your protein, and your fat, it all depends on how, for me, generally how the person's physique looks, and what their overall fitness goal is. So if you're trying to lean out, you definitely need and put on muscles, you definitely need protein. Now, with that said, carbs is needed for everyone. There's this big misconception that in order for you to lose weight, you need to cut out carbs. Carbs is your energy. That's kind of like putting gas in your car to go. And so you need, if you're working out, you're doing weight training, you're running around all day, you're doing your cardio, you need energy to
But
survive.
it's the right carbs.
Yes, it's the right carbs. Thank you, Cher.
What are the right carbs?
Just
What are some of them?
nature built it, not man-made.
Okay.
Okay.
So
White rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, whole grain pasta is good as well too. But yeah, not if it's
Wait, white rice is fine?
White rice is fine.
I didn't know that
White
until
rice
I
is
started,
fine. Yeah, why wouldn't it be?
Newsflash, I don't know. I thought you had to eat brown rice.
I know. I've never ate this much white rice in my life, by the way.
Yes. And
Yeah.
she also had I'm sorry. I know I was going to get on Janice, but she had a problem eating her protein. My husband and I had to have a conference call with her on the phone for her to eat her protein.
It's a lot of protein,
It's
though.
hard though.
Huh?
Eating enough protein, that has been a struggle for me.
198 grams of protein. Like,
Well,
how do you squeeze that?
Sometimes, well, it
I'm trying to get
depends.
to
Well,
100.
for her, she was trying to lean out for her wedding. So, but typically you need at least 1 gram of protein per body weight, right?
Per
Mhm.
But
pound, right?
yeah. So, but she was short period of time, so we had to up the protein for her. But yeah, no, she had a problem. We had to have a conference call with her.
So like me, I don't eat meat. I will eat some seafood, and even now I'm actually leaning towards less and less of even the seafood. People always talk about protein, and I go on Pinterest or whatever when I'm getting recipes, and it's like, oh my God, so much like dried chicken.
Chicken breast.
It's like so much dried chicken in a bowl, and it just seems like if you're not eating, ground beef, dried chicken, this kind of thing, like you're not gonna get enough protein. Can you get enough protein and be a vegan or vegetarian?
Yes, we're the same actually. I'm actually gonna say that for once, Jadise. So I'm pescatarian as well, and I was actually vegan up until probably about a year ago. So yes, you can. There are a lot of vegan proteins out there. So and then you can get protein as well from beans, tofu and stuff like that. So yes, you can be a vegan and be a bodybuilder as well too. So but I get a lot of my protein. I do a lot of fish, and I only do wild caught fish, right? And then the rest of my protein comes from the vegan protein shakes. And please be careful about the whole vegan protein as well too. There's some out there, and we saw this as well too online, that has traces of other things in it. So when you're looking for vegan,
Other things.
it was just kind of like chemical stuff in
Okay.
it. So you got to be extremely careful. When I buy things, I like to look on the package on where for the ingredients, and it needs to be simplified. If it's too complicated and there's things
can't
on there that you can't
pronounce
pronounce,
Yeah.
then more than likely it's just
Maltodextrin.
I don't do that. So the vegan protein that I have, I think it's probably about 4 things in it. So I just like for it to be straightforward and simple.
Cher, did you get your protein shake from Costco?
All right.
I did get my protein shake from Costco.
I have a protein shake story that I just have to share because I've been trying to get my protein up. I find it very challenging. And so I thought I had like this hack where I had created a shake that was 75 grams of protein.
Look at Diane's face.
No, but I'm literally like
Okay.
Protein
fitness unlocked. Like this is
Yeah.
crazy. How
I
come nobody
remember
else
you
figured
called
this
me.
out? I'm like, yeah, I was literally like,
You text us on the chat like,
I
is
know.
this-
I'm like, girls, guess what I figured out? And it's like 2 scoops of the protein, milk, yogurt. I add a banana if I'm feeling extra that day. And I'm like, this is so much protein. If I have 2 of these, then I'm literally like 10
Protein
grams
for the
away
week.
from like reaching my goal for the day. So I'm drinking these and like I'm feeling like shit. By the
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you said it because I was thinking it. I really was thinking
like I'm
it.
feeling narcoleptic is what I'm feeling. Feeling like I'm gonna go to sleep. And I'm like, why am I so tired? Like, what is happening? Like, do I need to go to the doctor? Like, and then I had a conversation with somebody who's like really into fitness, and he's like, I was like, yeah, like I cracked the code. And he's like, yeah, I don't think you can actually like digest that much protein
Right.
in
Exactly.
one
Shooting that
meal.
protein.
And I'm like, well, I mean, how much can I digest? And he's like, I'm thinking like 20 grams or something. And I was like, interesting. So then I Google it. Yeah, and it's like 20 or 30 grams is like the max per meal. So
So that confuses
PSA,
me though.
everybody.
That confuses me because a lot of these protein shakes will have like, oh, get up to 50 grams of protein in one shake. So those are not good
The
proteins.
scoop is 22 grams of like the protein powder I have. The scoop is 22 grams. I remember a trainer telling me because he was like, have a shake before you come in. But I was like, well, I'll do 2 scoops. And he's like, he's like, no, I don't think you need 2. But he didn't tell me why. Because you can't digest it, Evelyn. That's why. So you're just
Yeah,
gonna feel sleepy.
you don't want to overload your system with
Yeah.
anything, right? It's the same applies for even though it may good carbs and good fat, right? There comes a point where your body's like, okay, well, that's enough. My glasses in storage are filled. So therefore, let me take this extra and store it elsewhere. So even good, and then we get back to the whole calories things. So even if you're eating healthy, right? And you're eating above what your body needs, you are going to gain weight. So you don't want to overload your system with any one of those things, the protein, carbs, or fat.
Or you're eating below your calories, then you're slowing your metabolism
Which is
down.
what I do all the time.
Yeah.
I don't eat enough.
Yeah, you
I
have to train your body to for somebody and that's a good point, Janice, because a lot of people they're like, oh, like Cher when she first started, this is too much food. They don't feel the need to eat.
Mhm.
You just like how you're training your body to look a certain way, you need to train your body to accept the food,
Yeah, and
right?
it takes a little while. I mean, it took me like 3 to 4 weeks to not feel like a
Right,
stuffed turkey. Like I
right,
was walking around like,
right.
But let me ask you this. Now there's a huge thing that says we should actually, because I'm not a big breakfast person. I actually, when I get up, I am not hungry. I don't want breakfast. Like it's around lunchtime that I finally feel like, okay, I'm ready to eat something.
Yeah, I just want coffee.
Right. And there's a huge thing now about what is it called?
intermittent
Intermittent
fasting.
Intermittent
fasting.
fasting.
Yeah.
Thank you. What is your thoughts on intermittent fasting? Because there's been studies that supposedly, fasting intermittently or fasting period like helps your body heal and, that kind of thing. What is your thought?
I only recommend intermittent fasting if someone's schedule is kind of like off. Maybe the person works, for a certain, their work schedule, right? That doesn't allow them to eat. For example, Shay knows him, Eddie.
Mhm.
He's a chef and he works overnight. So his eating period is kind of like off. So then I will do intermittent fasting with him to kind of like, you know what I mean, make sure that he's still taking his calories in. But if you're just getting up in the morning and you just not eating, then no, that's not a good thing. If you start eating and like share, do it for about 3 weeks, I promise you that about the fifth week when you get up, you're gonna want to eat. You have to train your body to eat. It's not good to just kind of get up and go and start doing all these things and your body's on empty. Why? You wouldn't do that to your car, would you?
So you don't believe, like, you don't believe in
I only,
intermittent
yeah, I only
fasting?
believe I will only recommend doing it if your schedule, doesn't allow you to kind of eat in the morning. So
So I remember years ago thinking that intermittent fasting, well, it wasn't even a thing, I don't think, but it was just, it seemed unhealthy. Like people were like, no, have lots of smaller meals. Like that's the healthier way to do it. And then more recently, with kind of like the rise of intermittent fasting and people acting like it's good for you to fast, the thing that seems kind of useful to my thinking is that if you're only eating during this smaller amount of hours in the day, you kind of have a little more wiggle room to like eat what
Eat
you
more
want,
protein.
to eat more protein shakes. No, but like, like if I'm going to eat 5 meals today, that's 5 different choices where I have to make an intelligent choice about what I'm eating and make sure it fits, like calories in, calories out, right? So it's like another chance for me to mess up what I'm eating. If I'm only eating during, from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., I don't know. It seems like you can kind of get away with a lot more because
Calorie wise, you
less
mean?
meals. Yeah.
but what it boils down to really is a lifestyle. How long do you want to do intermittent fasting for? And are you going to stay that way for the rest of your life? So you want to do something that's
Sustainable.
sustainable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who do intermittent fasting, they don't last too long with it,
Mm.
or they will break it, right? So you want to do something that is long term, not something temporarily.
I think I have been inadvertently doing intermittent fasting for at least 10 years before I even knew it was a thing. Somehow I kind of gravitated to I think I had a baby and then I was just like, I'm having coffee for breakfast. And then I didn't get hungry again until, noon, 1 o'clock or something. So I think it's actually sustainable for me. For me to force myself to squeeze in a breakfast is actually a little uncomfortable for me.
But then again, we get back to the your schedule is what your
Yeah.
schedule. So I will only recommend if you're super busy and you're not able to get to your food, then yeah, I will recommend, that you're doing it. But if that's not the case, then I wouldn't recommend it for someone.
Okay. So it's not that it's inherently unhealthy to do it.
It's
It's
not
just like maybe
unhealthy.
not.
Yeah, it's just most people won't stick with it,
Okay.
right?
Got it.
So you
Makes
want to do
sense.
something that's long term and not temporary.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but like I said, just generally speaking, having your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 2 snacks, I would say like 98% of the clients, that's what we do with our clients, and they get results every time, right? So and then they're not starving, right? So that's just how, it's just a normal way of eating, and that helps to speed your metabolism up too as well, because you're eating these small meals throughout the day.
So in your average day, what do you eat?
In my average day, so I do the 5 a.m. class. I do it fasted because I don't, it's not enough time for me to eat and then, get up and then do the class. And plus, I don't like that, I need to make sure that my food is properly digested
I see you drinking something though. What are you drinking
I
in the
drink
morning?
coffee.
Is that what you have in your little drinky cup?
Yep, coffee. So I will have coffee before I do the class or during the class as well too. And then
Black,
after that,
no sugar.
Black, no
Black
Huh?
coffee?
Well, a little bit of sugar. I do
Okay.
stevia, but the natural one, pure stevia. Please don't do the packets.
I take coffee to the gym too. I thought I might be the
Yeah.
only one that
Yeah.
works out with coffee.
Oh, I work
So,
out with coffee too.
so then breakfast, I will have cashew waffles, the protein
Okay.
ones, and I will have my protein shake. And then after that, I will have fish, vegetables, and then sweet
That's
potato.
lunch.
Huh?
Lunch is the
Yeah.
fish and vegetables. Okay.
Sweet potato. And then in the afternoon, I might have a bagel or something like that. And then I'll repeat
A bagel?
Yes.
Evelyn's like,
She's like, what
Oh,
have I been
and I'm
doing
sorry.
wrong with
I
my
Listen,
life?
bagels,
no, this yeah,
Diane.
this is
75 pounds
yeah,
of protein.
this is gonna make your head split too. So on certain days, I won't have the sweet potato. I will have rice,
White
Yeah.
rice.
white rice,
No butter on it, Evelyn.
no butter. Yeah, no butter. Absolutely no butter. And I will have a shake before I go to bed.
Okay. All
Do you
right.
ever do, because I've seen these
Pizza?
no, not pizza. I mean, I'm sure you have pizza too,
I do
right?
have pizza.
Yeah, but not pizza. These drinks that have energy.
Oh,
The
with the
energy.
BCAs
No,
or
she's talking about I know she's the
Like a
caffeine ones.
Like
pre-workout?
The
before, yeah,
pre-workout.
pre-workouts.
I
Woo!
I do take a pre-workout, but it's powder form. I do not like the canned ones. It gives me a headache for whatever
I
reason.
took
I
a
don't know.
pre-workout and I went to the gym and I couldn't stop itching. Like I was like
That's
tingly.
called
It was
I hate
beta
that.
awful.
betaline.
Oh my God.
Beta-alanine is in it. So yeah,
yeah, I
no.
That's a
can't do
That
terrible
them.
feeling. It
It's
makes you,
yes,
awful. It
yeah.
was
yeah.
like somebody like pricking me all over. I was like
You need to make
freaking
sure,
out.
yeah, you need to make sure that the one that you get don't have it in it. You should be fine.
What's the ingredient that's called?
Beta-alanine.
Oh, I don't like that for me.
Yeah, it makes you feel like something
Buck
when
up. What's it?
well,
It was
Bucked up?
like,
yeah,
Bucked
it
up has
makes
that in
yeah, it
it.
makes it
Yeah.
feel like something is crawling on your skin.
yeah.
But if you take it for about a week, after that, your body, guess what?
Gets used to it.
Get used to it, and you don't feel it
But
anymore.
what's the point of it? Why do I want to feel like tingly like
It
that?
helps with your
Because you're
muscles.
like, oh, it's kind of
It helps build muscle?
It helps.
Does it like enhance your workout as well, or
I think the combination of the pre-workout enhance, but it
Mhm.
does help. Yeah,
So there's none that
there's
without the tingly that helps
yes,
build muscle,
there's plenty
there
of
are.
pre-workouts out there that doesn't have it in it.
but that helps build muscle.
I wouldn't say any. Okay, it helps to give you a little bit more of a
Oh.
strength pump,
Mhm.
right? But
Okay.
not build muscle. Build muscle is you moving that weight.
Right.
Yeah,
But it like helps what like blood
it
pump
helps.
to
It
the
helps to
muscle?
energize you
Okay.
a little bit
I
more.
think of the pre-workouts as like you feel sluggish, you take this, you
Right. So
feel
you get
like
it
a
energizes you.
boost to
Right.
go
I
work
just
out
didn't
harder.
I just didn't like that feeling. That
It's a
was
horrible
bizarre.
feeling.
Yeah, it was awful.
You know, there's plenty out there without it in it.
Diane, what are some of the key components like with your clients that have had the most success? Like, what are
Mm.
some of the things that they are consistently doing to maintain their success?
They prepare their food in advance.
Oh God.
They cook.
It's the meal prep.
Meal prep.
Oh,
God.
Yeah, the ones that are that they meal prep, they follow their macros to a T. They weigh everything, measure everything.
So
Okay.
just not enjoying their life.
That's not
Got it.
true. Do I look like I don't enjoy life?
Yes, sometimes, Diane.
But we look a certain way though.
Facts. Facts.
It's like I'm a bad bitch.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, we look a certain way. We get away with a lot of things, but okay. Meal prep, and they don't give themselves excuses to not do, right? So even some of them, you know, because I have clients who compete in bodybuilding as well too. Sometimes I have to pull them back from themselves. Like if they're not feeling well, they will still want to go to the gym, and I'm like, no, you can't, right? So they just don't give themselves excuse. So that, like I said, those three things, consistency as well too, is extremely important. If you're not consistent working out, then you're not going to get no, it just won't happen, or it would take longer to happen. And so when it takes longer to happen, you just don't feel that, you know what I mean? Your why becomes less. Like you're not seeing your body change, and you're like, okay, you're getting frustrated, and it will cause you to give up. So, but if you're consistent about it and then you start seeing the results, then that will make you want to do it more. Right. So,
I feel like you're looking at me for some like stop.
yeah.
looking
So,
at
yeah,
me.
because you've been missing from class. So, it's
don't
good to
like-
see you.
I've
It's good
been
to
doing it offline, Diane.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. It's good to see you in person because you've been missing from class for about a week and a half.
No,
Diane
but
will come
I've done
get
it
you.
when I'm like send it. You know what? This isn't about me.
No, but there are people.
On that
But there are
spicy
many.
note.
But there are many people out there like you. So the question that I
Wow.
have for you, so
The
let me take over,
judgment.
Cher,
Okay.
is why? Why don't you show up every day?
Oh, well, I didn't show up this past week. And you
Mhm.
sent me the workout. I did it offline because I had to go in early.
But okay, I'm not really picking on you, but
But yes,
yes.
you are.
Okay, all right. So let me just ask the next question then. But you have access to the video to do the class. So
Yeah.
why you only request the video once this week?
But I just use the other ones.
But why would you do that though? Because it's based on different body parts. See, the class that I do at 5 a.m. in the morning, it covers, I make sure that it covers your entire body throughout the week. So one day we're doing back and chest, next day we're doing glutes and
Thank you, Diane, for
abs.
coming on. Thank you so
Glutes and
much. On
abs.
that note,
So
we
I'm like
have
Janice
to
over
wrap
there.
this up.
No, we're not. No, we're not. Mm-mm, mm-mm. So let me tell the people about the class, and then I'm gonna get back to you. So, and then one day, the next day, we do legs, and then we do shoulders and arms, but we always incorporate cardio into the class, right? And stretching. Those important things.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, why would you? And that's a good point, Janice, because what you don't want to do is to work the same muscle back to back. So why would you be doing the
So
same class?
actually, what I did start though this past week is I started going back to the gym. And remember, I text you, I actually, want you to give me a weighted program, like much more, I want to lift heavier. So that's what I decided that I'm, starting as well. So I haven't been totally neglectful.
Well, when was the last time you went to the gym? I'm trying to understand your mindset.
I went to the gym yesterday.
Okay. And you worked on?
I did legs.
You did legs.
I did.
Okay. All right. The thing about it is I've been doing this for over 20 something years. Okay. And you need to make sure that if I give you this program to go to the gym, that you are going to get to the gym.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Big word.
Okay. So if this is recorded, right? So
I
hello.
enjoy going to the gym.
Diane, you have to tell everybody where we can find you if people want to come work with you or learn more about what you do. Where can they find
And
you?
also tell them that, right, like I live in New York, you're here.
Okay,
You're
so
still my
yeah,
trainer.
so I do a virtual boot camp class in the morning at 5 a.m. It's about 10 to 15 ladies at times, and we just a big family. There's accountability from me and accountability from the ladies as well too, because somebody like Janice who don't show up for class, when she doesn't show up for class, everybody gets to do extra burpees. So I'm gonna let them know today. As soon as this is done, when I get into my car, I'm going to text them and tell them that Janice is in town and she just didn't show up for class. So they are going to be reaching out to her, right? So you can, yeah. So, but for me, I'm at, my IG is I am Diane Brown, and my business website is Body Emotion LLC. And we have a website as well to www.bodyemotion.com.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I learned so much.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
And you'll do from meal plans,
Mhm.
workout plans,
Yeah, so I don't,
it's a la
yeah,
carte.
I don't, I think the boot camp is the only service that we provide in which your nutrition is not involved or included, I should say. So if, we're very adamant about making sure that when you're working out that you're eating healthy at the same time.
Okay.
Well, thanks for joining us today. And as always, thank you guys for joining us, Heroin Chic, where we help you unlock your shiro. I'm Cher Castillo signing off with my co-hosts.
I am Janice Jan.
Smart Evelyn. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks so much.